Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a small makeover in this corner of my home. I mentioned this in a previous video, but this is kind of like our back entryway. We come in through that door from the garage whenever we arrive home. And I have just been thinking about kind of mixing it up and making the space look a little bit different. I did this, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm just kind of over this look. That mirror is very difficult to keep clean, so that's another reason why I want to do this. But let me show you what I am thinking, and then we will get to work. So I absolutely love this accent wall that I put in here. I believe it was 5 years ago that I did this, and I still just love it. And so I'm going to do something similar. However, I'm not going to take it to the ceiling. I'm just gonna do this half wall here underneath where the hook shelf is. And I am going to paint it the same color as I have in there, just because I am kind of over this pink situation. I'm over this boho arch look. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. You'll have to watch the process to see all of my ideas, what I'm gonna do here. But I think I'm gonna start by cutting all the pieces of wood and painting, because I feel like that is going to be really time consuming, especially letting the wood pieces dry. Okay, my friends, I pretty much immediately had to abandon my sweatshirt. I think the high is in the 70s here in Austin today, and it's the beginning of February. So that is the nice part about living in the South. Sometimes we get some warmer days in the winter, but I did want to let you know that this project is going to cost me very minimal, because I had some wood pieces left over from when I did the previous project, and I also have both paint colors that I'm gonna be using today on hand. So the only thing I needed to buy is some more wood pieces, and I guess truthfully this isn't a super low cost, because I did invest in my own nail gun, or like brad nailer gun. In the past few projects where I've used a nail gun, I've borrowed it from a friend, but I decided to just go ahead and invest in one, to have one, since I have used it several times already. It's obviously a tool that I will probably continue to use. So with that said, let's get to work. Okay friends, I have to share the reality. So I have not even started filming yet, and I think I've been out here for like 20 or 30 minutes trying to just figure out the math on how long these boards need to be for the half wall, just half of the wall. And not to mention, I did that other project, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, no, I think it was closer to 5 years. I think it was in 2020, 5 years ago. So I couldn't remember exactly how I cut the wood. I knew that I did a 45-degree angle. I just needed to get the measurement correct. In carpentry, they always say measure twice, cut once. And did I listen to that? No. And there's a chance I will need to go back to Home Depot to buy one more piece of wood, because I don't know. I know I had extra, but I just don't know if I have enough extra for the boo-boos that I made. So with that said, now that I have it figured out and I know where I need to cut, now I can get this project truly underway. Okay, friends, I did forget to mention that today's video is a Thoughtful Thursday video. And if you're new around here or don't know what that means, it just means that I like to share my thoughts on a random topic on Thursdays in the voiceover, in addition to bringing you some sort of motivation or inspirational content. So for today's Thoughtful Thursday, I debated and thought a lot on if I wanted to share my thoughts on a topic that is perhaps a bit controversial, but ultimately I decided to be brave and share my reactions to Dawn from the Minimal Mom's divorce. Now, I know some of you may not know her, but she is a very popular YouTuber in the decluttering and minimalism community, so I have been following her for several years. For those of you who don't know her, I did want to let you know a little bit about her. I think that it actually came to a huge surprise to most of her followers that she divorced her husband. He did appear on her channel from time to time, and honestly, from my opinion, they seem to have a really great dynamic. But it's just a reminder that we never know what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to social media. And I totally respect Dawn for keeping her marriage problems quiet up until now. I have talked on my channel about my thoughts on having some personal privacy online, and her channel was less about her marriage and family and more specifically teaching about decluttering techniques and also sharing her journey to minimalism. I want to share a disclaimer before I go any further. Everything I'm going to share is my personal reaction, my thoughts, and my opinions. And this is based on watching both Tom and Dawn's divorce announcement videos. And I also watched an interview Dawn did with a podcaster talking a little bit more in depth about her marriage. I am just going to go ahead and jump right into the nitty gritty. So Dawn and her husband, Tom, are professing Christians and have talked on The Minimal Mom about their faith. And Dawn's twin sister is actually a pastor, and she seems to have come from a family of pretty strong faith. I think there are some Christian communities that do not agree with divorce. Admittedly, this topic I myself have been confused about and have not really had strong opinions one way or the other. I don't know the right answer based on scripture, but I can tell you scripture does say God hates divorce. And I think we would all agree that divorce is terrible. It's not something anyone wants to go through. It's not something you think will happen when you walk down the aisle at your wedding. But I do believe there are times where it is necessary. When you are persistently living in a toxic marriage, it has an effect on you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even physically. Dawn alluded to enduring some toxic dynamics between her and her ex-husband. She did not come out and say it, but from everything I listened to, I would say that she experienced emotional abuse. I can't actually say that word on YouTube because I don't want to get flagged, so I will just refer to it as emotional A moving forward. The tricky thing about emotional A is that it is difficult to define and therefore insidious, in my opinion. We all go through ups and downs in life, and our spouse probably experiences the brunt of our emotional turmoil. However, there is a difference between processing negative feelings and using passive-aggressive and emotional manipulation tactics to control your spouse. Unfortunately, I think divorce is very difficult, especially when you are in a Christian community, because we are taught to forgive 7 times 70, which basically means perpetually. In some Christian culture communities, and I do want to make the distinction between Christian culture and what the Bible actually says about women, there is this pressure to be the quiet, submissive, enduring wife. But I think at some point, enough is enough. You can forgive, but if the other party is unwilling to self-evaluate, own up to past toxic behaviors or patterns of communication, and unwilling to work towards change, then I don't think God would want us to stay in that abusive relationship. It sucks all of the energy and light from you and prevents you from being able to serve God the way He intended for you to serve. I think a husband should be a support and someone who helps his wife succeed, and vice versa. We should not pull each other down and hold each other back. I am so proud of Dawn for how hard she worked in the midst of really difficult circumstances to grow her channel into the successful and thriving business that it is today. That leads me to my next point, which honestly I'm a little bit hesitant to make, but I feel like in the context of this conversation, it needs to be said. Dawn had the freedom to say enough is enough because she had the means to support herself. I would advise any young women who want to stay at home to raise their children and pursue homemaking to never lose access to money. The work you are doing is valuable. I think I saw a statistic that said if a stay-at-home mom was paid for all of the responsibilities she takes on, it would be a 6-figure income. Some men and even some courts will not see it that way. They will view the money as more belonging to the man because he was the one who made it. I think it would be wise for all women to have access to money in some capacity so that they don't get trapped in a toxic marriage. Believe me, I am all for love and trust and all of that. It's just I have seen enough in my 50 years of life, and I have several divorced friends who were stay-at-home moms and struggled financially after their divorce. Please keep watching because I do have a little bit more to share on this topic, which I will do in just a bit. I did just want to check in. This is a couple hours later. I had to stop for a bit so that I could have dinner with my family, and now I'm going to get back to painting the sides of these boards, which I'm doing just to make it easier for after I install them. I think it's going to be difficult to get in between the boards, but I'm not going to film the whole process because it is very tedious, which can make for boring footage. I still need to do some painting inside, but I will see how I feel because honestly, I am so tired right now and my back is hurting from like hunching over, painting over this table. Because last night I went out with girlfriends and I stayed out way too late, and so I did not get enough sleep last night. So I am totally exhausted, but I do want to plow through and get as much done of this project as I can tonight. My husband's actually out of town, so it's the perfect opportunity to just keep working, keep plowing through. We'll see how much I can get done tonight, but hopefully I can at least finish painting the sides of these boards. So I may have to pick this up back up another day because I really don't think I can complete this whole project tonight because it's already, I think, at least 7:30. So yeah, I'm gonna need to shower and unwind for bed tonight and make sure I get to bed early tonight so that I get enough sleep. Okay, now I am done with the first coat of all of those wood planks, painting the sides. And I was talking to my daughter at dinner about this, but I'm having second thoughts about totally erasing the arch there. I do feel like, since I've had it 4 years, it's probably something that's going out of style, but I kind of feel like I still like it. I think I just didn't like the mix of the arch, the pink, and the mirror. I felt like that leaned extremely boho, but adding this vintage mirror, I think will tone that down. So this is what I'm gonna do. Hear me out. I am going to paint that arch green so that it looks like a full thing. And I'm gonna see if I like it. This might be a bad decision because, obviously this is going to take time. And I remembered, I think I even have to get a really tiny paintbrush to paint around the arch to get it precise. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, back to the conversation about Dawn and reacting to her divorce announcement. The other thing I wanted to touch on is an observation that I have, and this may not be true in Dawn's case, but interesting to speculate how decluttering and pursuing a simple life can come as a result of dealing with heavy and difficult things in life. It could even be arguably a trauma response. I know I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago in a Thoughtful Thursday video when I was doing some research on why people desire change in life, and that idea of it being a trauma response came up. If I were to speculate, I think going through trauma was a catalyst for Dawn to start decluttering and pursuing minimalism. We are only in control of ourselves, our own reactions to others' behaviors, and our own behavior. Becoming minimal might have been a way that she could control her own environment. In addition to that, when we are going through difficult things emotionally, it is helpful to have a more simplified life with less to take care of and less to manage. Like I said, this is all speculation because honestly, there was a lot left unsaid, both on Tom and Dawn's part. But I've really been processing and thinking about all of this, as you can tell. And as someone who identifies as a Christian woman and as someone who has walked alongside several friends who left toxic marriages, I wanted to share my perspective. I know this week's message was a bit heavy, and I admit that I was terrified to share these thoughts. I might be being a bit more vulnerable than I should or want to be in this video. So please be kind and be gentle with the comments, but nevertheless, please let me know your thoughts on my thoughts. Also, in case you're interested, I will go ahead and link Dawn's video where she announced her divorce in my description box, along with that video that I saw of her being interviewed by that podcaster. Unfortunately, I can't link Tom's video because he has already taken that video down, but I will be sure to link the other two videos for you. Please stay tuned for the rest of this video to see how this area turned out. Spoiler alert, I absolutely love how this space turned out, and I just keep walking past it just to look at it. And here I'm going to go ahead and sand off this Dry Decks product that I used to fill all of the little nail holes. And I didn't film myself filling in all the holes. It is quite a tedious process, but here I'm just showing you how I needed to go ahead and sand off all the excess that was left over. And I was super excited to get to paint these boards because this is where the project is really coming to life, really coming together. And I'm starting to see my vision that I had in my head coming to fruition. And it is so satisfying.
Please tell me that I am okay. Please show me that this is the way. When time stands still, when I feel silence, life gets real. When hearts are violent, words they kill.
Whenever I do projects like this on my channel, I feel like I don't ever show the aftermath or the cleanup that has to happen. I still have a little bit more to go, but I want to put away as much as possible so that I can just start cleaning this space up. I just need to wait for the paint to dry to do some of the finishing touches. So let's put this stuff away.
In winter silence, when no one is calling, when dawn is lightless, I will be still, I will stay quiet, and I will wait until the springtime. I will wait until the snow stops. I will wait until the morning for you.
I do enjoy the process of doing some sort of little tiny renovation like this in my home, but always the most satisfying moment is when I get to style the space. So I was super excited to be able to get to hang this vintage mirror that I've had on hand for several years and style the shelf as well.
Don't worry, 'cause you'll be okay. Don't let all the time pass away. You are loved and you are priceless. 'Cause your love, well, nothing's quite like it. Although now may seem like a lifetime, know that the dawn will come for you. Know that the peace will come for you. Know that my love will be with you always.
Okay, my friends, that is all for today's video. You will have to let me know what you think about how this space turned out. Do you like it better than what the space looked like before? And also, please let me know your thoughts on my Thoughtful Thursday thoughts today. Like I mentioned, please be kind, be gentle. But as always, I really appreciate you watching all the way until the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.